When was the last time you picked up some weights? Chances are it was probably back in high school when you had to do some exercises for PE. Well, high school is finished now and now you're left on your own. You're left to your own devices to choose what you're going to do next with your life. I'm here to say that fitness should be one of your top priorities as soon as you get out of high school. Why? Because do you really want to be that guy with a beer belly at 35 years old, attracting no high quality women at all? I bet you answered no. Well, that's where you're gonna end up if you go on the current pathway that you're on. Think about it, bro. Like, most men go through life this way. They neglect fitness as soon as they get out of high school and they lose that sense of masculinity that most men must have. Most men's lives after high school are pretty much going to work and getting drunk on weekends, or going to uni and getting drunk on weekends. Now, you might be able to keep up with the drinking because you have a fast metabolism when you're young, but as soon as you hit 30, your metabolism decreases exponentially. What happens then, bro? You get a big fat beer belly, and 30 is when your life really starts as a man. If you boys didn't already know, we peak later in life as men. That's called the male advantage, because we put in the work in the early years of our life to live our best life when we hit 30 and beyond. How do you plan to live your best life after 30 if you've got a big fat beer belly at 30 years old? In my honest opinion, the two things that men must focus on when they're young are fitness and success. Now, these two things sure as hell don't come easy. If it came easy, every guy we know would be riding around in a McLaren with a six pack. But the earlier you start, the better. Like, even I was late in starting my journey to chase success as well. I started early in terms of fitness. I started going to the gym when I was around 16 years old, and that's one of the accomplishments that I'm truly grateful for. But I'm telling you, boys, having a nice body gets you certain things like the respect of other guys and the admiration of girls as well. Okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper into what the male advantage is. In short, a male advantage is the time period where men thrive the most, both appearance wise and financially. If you didn't already know, a man's appearance gets better with age, and a woman's appearance gets worse with age. Now, that's not to hate on any women, but that's just the facts. Our masculine face really gets established at around 30 years old, and that's of course if you're at a low body fat percentage as well. And that's the whole point, boys. You must build up your body in terms of muscle mass and come down to around 10% body fat, where you would look your best. This is when the hollow cheeks come in, and your abs are visible, and you have clear definition in your muscles, and it's sustainable as well. Honestly, boys, like, people in general start treating you differently when you have a low body fat percentage with a decent build. It's very easy to neglect fitness in your early years of life, especially in your teens and 20s. You might think, oh, I look fit for my age. You might not have a beer belly at the moment, but what happens if you keep doing those bad habits over and over again till you're 30 and beyond? Your metabolism decreases and you start gaining weight. Your skin looks worse and your overall health starts deteriorating. And forget having a six pack, your health inside out has deteriorated so much at this point, and most men lose hope at this point. They look back and they wish they could have changed things. And chances are, if they're still in their 30s, it's not too late. But I'm telling you, boys, that implementing a healthy lifestyle at that point becomes a lot harder. I'm not saying it cannot be done. I know a lot of men that change their lives around at 30 years old and beyond, but I'm telling you guys, it's not as easy as it was when you were 20 years old. So that's why I'm telling you, boys, that you should implement fitness as soon as you can, as young as you can. I'm not telling you to go lift the heaviest weight there is or hit PRs in every session that you go into, but I'm telling you guys to get into the right direction as young as possible. When I say right direction, I mean doing something that includes moving your body. Now, you boys know that I'm a big advocate for bodybuilding and weightlifting. That's only because it has the best ROI for you and I average guys. And by average, I mean your day-to-day average Joe that has no special talent. Why does it have the best ROI? Because it has the benefit of everything. You have a nice body which attracts opposite sex. You get the respect of everyone around you, and you get shit like promotions and raises pretty quick if you work for someone else. Imagine all that just because you have a nice body. It's because it's so hard to achieve, boys. It takes years of hard work and consistency to build an aesthetic body, so you best believe there's going to be benefits associated with it. If it was easy, every man would be walking around jacked, but that's simply not the case. It takes at least 3 years to build a nice aesthetic body. So for all this time I've been talking about why you need fitness in your life, but how do you actually get there in terms of getting an aesthetic body? First of all, I want to let you know that diet is more than half the equation in terms of getting an aesthetic body. It's important when you're trying to put on muscle, aka bulking, and it's important when you're trying to cut down body fat, aka cutting. The only practical action that I can give you, boys, is to track your calories. There's an app called MyFitnessPal on the App Store and on the Play Store where you can track your calories. To track what you eat, you need to know how many calories you should be eating. If you're skinny, I recommend you start bulking. If you're skinny fat, I recommend you start bulking as well. If you're overweight, I recommend you start cutting first. So if you're bulking, how many calories should you be eating? To find this out, we need to first find out what your maintenance calories are. To find this out, you need to go on any TD calculator online and then accurately fill in your details as possible. And then it'll give you a number. To that number, you need to add 300 calories on top of that. That'll be your bulking calories. All you have to do is weigh out your food and then put it into MyFitnessPal. Do this consistently for about a week or so till your weight changes. As soon as your weight increases, you need to recalculate your maintenance calories and add your surplus calories on top of that again, and do this consistently until you reach your goal weight. Now, if you're cutting, it's the same process. Instead of adding 300 calories on top of your maintenance calories, you decrease 300 calories from your maintenance calories. That's when you start losing weight. As soon as you start losing weight, make sure you recalculate your maintenance calories and then deduct the calorie deficit from that. Now, when you're tracking your calories, it's important to hit every macronutrient goal there is. Aim to hit all 3 macronutrients, but a non-negotiable is hitting your protein goal. You must hit your protein goal every day. Now, how do you know which amount of macronutrients you need to eat? Well, what I've been following and what you guys can follow as well is 40% protein, 30% carbs, and 30% fat, which equates to 100%. Again, this is what's worked best for me. You boys can work around and play around with the numbers a little bit, but I recommend keeping the protein amount the same at 40%. Bro, if you're consistent with your diet, you'll literally be unstoppable. Because diet is the hardest part, and everyone that goes to the gym knows this. Next part of the equation is, of course, training. The only way you can achieve results outside of the gym that you want is by doing a bodybuilding style of training. You have to fill out your frame, bro, and the only way you're gonna do that is by doing a hypertrophy based workout routine. This can either be a bro split or a push pull legs routine. Any routine, to be honest, can be changed up to include hypertrophy in them, but I recommend the bro split to most beginners. So what's a bro split? A bro split is pretty much when you train one body part per week and you let that body part rest for the rest of the week, and you train that same body part the next week with full intensity. This is essential for beginners because you'd want to be stressing that muscle group as much as you can for that particular day, and then not overstress it for the rest of the week, and then let it recover so you can hit it the next week again. This training style is based on my opinion though, and I'm telling you boys, the things that I've seen work for some of my friends as well. So if it doesn't work out for you, it's all good. You can change to a push-pull legs routine or an upper lower body split if you're a weirdo. I mean, people react to different training styles in different ways, so yours might be a little bit different. The next and the most important thing that you must focus on in terms of training is progressive overload. This is when you continually stress your muscles to grow in different ways. You can do this by increasing the weight that you lift, increasing the reps and sets that you do, increasing the time under tension that you keep yourself when you're doing the exercise, or shortening the rest times when you take in between sets as well. When you deplete one method, just move on to the next one. So those are literally the most important things that I've condensed into one video about fitness. If you boys want more info, my comments are always open, so I always check the comments. Make sure you drop me a comment down below and I'll check it. I hope you boys enjoyed the video today. It was kind of all over the place, but I hope you boys learned something from it. Anyways, I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace.